Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I would really appreciate it if you could hit that like button. It's always great to have the likes hit. Share if you can, if you are not yet connected. Please feel free to do so and leave a comment and I will connect right back to you. So this is still the Brothers Grimm and it's the 7 Ravens. I have not read this before, so it's new to me. There was once a man who had 7 sons, but never a daughter. However, much he wished for one. At last, however, he had a daughter. His joy was great, but the child was small and delicate, and, on account of its weakness, it was to be christened at home. The father sent one of his sons in haste to the spring to fetch some water. The other 6 ran with him, and because each of them wanted to be the first to draw the water, between them the pitcher fell into the brook. There they stood and didn't know what to do, and not one of them ventured to go home. As they did not come back, their father became impatient and said, "Perhaps the young rascals are playing about and have forgotten it altogether." He became anxious lest his little girl should die unbaptized, and in hot vexation he cried, "I wish the youngsters would all turn into ravens." Scarcely were his words uttered when he heard a whirling in the air above his head, and, looking upwards, he saw 7 coal-black ravens flying away. The parents could not undo the spell, and were so very sad about the loss of their 7 sons. But they consoled themselves in some sort of measure with their dear little daughter, who soon became strong, and every day she became more strong and even more beautiful than she was before. For a long time she was unaware that she even had any brothers, for her parents took care not to mention it. However, one day by chance she heard some people saying about her, "Oh yes, the girl's pretty enough, but she really is to blame for the misfortune of the 7 brothers. She really should be ashamed. If she is not ashamed, maybe she also doesn't care. It is her fault after all." She became very sad, and she went to her father and mother, and she asked. She wanted to know if she had ever had any brothers. Where were her brothers? What had become of them? The parents could no longer conceal this secret that they held. They said, however, that what had happened was by the decree of heavens, and that her birth was merely an innocent occasion, nothing but coincidence. But the little girl could not get the matter off her. No, she could not for once think that this was science for a single day, and thought that she was bound to release the brothers again. She had no peace, no quiet, until she had secretly set out and gone forth into the wide world to trace her brothers wherever they might be, and to free them all, let it cost what it might. She took nothing with her but a little ring and remembrance of her parents, a loaf of bread for hunger, a pitcher of water against thirst, and a little chair in a case of fatigue. She kept ever going on, and on until she came to the end of the world. Then she came to the sun, but it was hot and terrible. It devoured little children. She ran hastily away to the moon, but it was too cold, and moreover dismal and dreary. And when the child was looking at it, it said, I smell man's flesh. Then she quickly made off. She came to stairs, and they were kind and good. Up the stairs she found the stars, and every single star was special to her. She looked at them, and she set them about as special, each one a special seat, a special star. But the one that stood out the most, the morning star. The morning star stood up bright and gave her a little bone and said, unless you have this bone, you cannot open the glass mountain, and in the glass mountain are your brothers. The girl took the bone and wrapped it up carefully in a little handkerchief, and went on again until she came to the glass mountain. The gate was closed, and she meant to get out the little bone, but when she undid the handkerchief, it was empty. She had lost it. Had she lost the good star's present? How now? Was she set to work? How? Why? She was determined to rescue her brothers, but had no key whatsoever to open the gate to get to her brothers. She did not have. She lost this key from her handkerchief. She could not understand. How can it just vanish? And where did it go? That's not possible. The good little sister decided to take a knife and cut off her own tiny finger. She fitted it into the keyhole and succeeded in opening the lock. When she had entered, she met a dwarf who said, My child, what are you looking for? I'm looking for my brothers, the 7 ravens, she answered. The dwarf said, My masters, the ravens are not at home, but if you like to wait until they come, please walk in. Thereupon the dwarf brought in the raven's supper on 7 little plates and in 7 little cups, and the little sister ate a crumb or 2 from each of the little plates and took a sip from each of the little cups, but she let the ring she had brought with her fall into the last little cup. All at once a wailing and a crying was heard in the air, when the dwarf said, Now my masters, the ravens, are coming home. Then they came in and wanted to eat, and they wanted to drink, and began to look about for their little plates and cups. But they said one after the other, Holla, halloa, who has been eating off my plate? Who has been drinking out of my cup? There has been a human mouth in here. And when the 7th drank to the bottom of his cup, the ring rolled up against his lips. He looked at it, and he recognized it. This ring was belonging to his father and mother, and said, God grant that our sister may be here, and we may have been delivered. As the maiden was standing behind the door listening, she heard the wish and came forward, and then all the ravens all at once got back their human form again, and they embraced and kissed one another very joyously, and they continued on home joyfully. The end. That's the 7 Ravens by Brothers Grimm. First time I've actually read that one as well, so very interesting indeed. Thank you for listening, and many blessings.